Hi, everybody. I'm Gary. This is Eric. Welcome to Cedar Culture Podcast. Today we are kind of going rogue, topic-less, but I think we'll have some fun stuff to talk about today. And we get to smoke the Muestra de Saka, Dunbarton Tobacco Trust, hashtag NLMTHA.
Let's bundle these leaves and burn them and suck on them.
All right, Muestra de Saka with some whiskey, not sake. Saka whiskey. What are you drinking?
I'm sticking with my diet soda. I've been starting the day off with that and then moving to some heavier Dr. Pepper diet stuff,
Ramping it up. Got my green tea also. Today I brought the bottle with me for the whiskey I'm drinking. It's a different one. It's by Rabbit Hole Derringer. I don't know. I'm not a big bourbon guy, but it looks like the brand is Rabbit Hole.
It's funny you say that because you have a pretty sweet bourbon whiskey collection.
I'm a bourbon drinker guy, not a bourbon collector. But this one's finished in sherry casks. I'm starting to learn that I like the bourbon finished in like the port sherry casks.
Brings out that sweetness, man. It's nice.
Yeah, it really does.
When I was drinking a ton, I was loving pairing cigars with port, like the wine mixed with just really, really good.
I like a little port or like an ice wine, like super sweet kind of dessert wine.
That's why you like me. I'm sweet.
But what I like with this stuff, man, is when they age the bourbon in the sherry and port casks and everything, the ABV, they tend to bottle it a little higher, but it's smoother than like 40 ABV. So this is like 46.5%, but it tastes smoother to me than...
I think the cask age in general.
Yeah, totally. Sweetens it, mellows it. Muestra de Saka in coffins. Anything in a coffin tastes better. It's like a car with a racing stripe goes faster.
It's so funny. Like, I know we talk about being pop culture guys, accessory guys. Something about buying a cigar in its own coffin just looks cool, feels cool, smells cool. You know that it's encapsulated in cedar, so it's gonna just another little widget that's fun to have.
I like. I was telling you too. I think the layla or the band. It's just a foot band. There's no kind of band around the middle, but it's like a muted kind of mustard yellow, like the red outline and black. It reminds me of like Kill Bill for some reason, sort of retro lettering, or also kind of reminds me of Hulk Hogan.
Oh, there you go. I get a little Charlie Brown theme kind of when I look at it, like his sweater, but like very, very simple design.
That's so funny.
I am not the biggest Lancero guy. Just size wise, I think I'm. I don't know if you could tell I'm a bigger guy. In my hand and in my mouth.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm gonna break them. Like they're so long, it's got a weird break point.
And that's fair. And I talk a lot about how the way the cigar feels in the hand matters a lot to me. So I completely get that. I like the way they feel in my hand, but as a treat, as an exception, I wouldn't want to smoke a Lancero every day. Some people are just really Lancero people.
Yeah. And some are only offered. Some cigars are only offered in Lancero.
Yeah, they're not super common, but they're quite common, but not. Yeah, a lot.
I don't know that it's the most popular size.
But what's interesting is they so it fits in the hand well. It's as an exception, and it makes it feel. I don't know why, like a cartoon or a movie, old-timey movie.
I feel like I've got a pencil or a Sharpie in my hand.
Where the only time I don't like a Lancero, though, is because it is thinner. Sometimes I struggle with the pull, and it depends how they.
Well, you got a lot more length of cigar to get, and you get a lot. That's fine, and you get a lot less kind of like surface area. But it also does change the dynamic of the smoke. Like obviously, it's more concentrated through the pull. You're going to get some different notes that you probably wouldn't in a larger gauge.
That's true. I feel bad for people that watch us now because we've both sort of adopted the style of sucking on our caps.
It kind of helps,
but it's helped a lot. It's helped me a lot with any little minor cap unraveling or whatever.
I'll tell you what, nice draw, easy dry draw, not getting much resistance.
No,
and.
I forgot I didn't bring anything. I don't have a lighter or cutter or anything.
Well, here, please.
I'm gonna get this guy started. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've heard some good things.
I've had the Mi Izquierda by Saka, Dunbarton Tobacco. In fact, did we give all the stats on?
We did not, so I don't know that there's a whole lot to say on the actual tobacco. We know it's a Nicaragua origin. It's a Lancero, like Eric said, it's 7x38, small ring gauge, longer size. And the research I did, I was seeing the individual coffins are going for about $18, $17.95 a stick. So I would call that a higher end boutique stick. But and Steve Saka, what a cool story! Like started at Drew Estate,
Yeah.
president there, parted ways with the company, started his own thing. I think as the story goes, he's kind of like me, not the biggest Lancero fan. People were like, "When are you going to put one out?" He kind of did this to shut up, I guess, some of the people saying it. So hence the name, the hashtag NLMTHA. I put out this stick, now leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
Type of a thing, which he does some cool, pop culture references and references like that. He did the STFU exclamation point with the sober maces,
Yeah.
put out. So just, we're geeky like that. We kind of like.
We're definitely geeky like that. Which what I like too, though, is when you hear him talk or you see him in interviews, he's definitely comes off as the sort of old school cigar mafioso type, like bigger guy, lounging back.
Wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah, but to kind of have that sense of humor under the sort of badass aura is kind of cool. So what are you thinking as you light it up?
I got on the dry draw. I had some chocolatey notes, but I'm getting like woody off the initial pulse.
Yeah, I get like almost want to say like a hickory or mesquite kind of wood.
Yeah, not like strong barbecue, but like that hickory, almost like a baseball bat or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
cut lumber, something like that.
Yeah, or like
2x4s.
Like teak wood or something like that, maybe driftwood.
And again, driftwood.
Yeah,
that's a cool.
Maybe some sandalwood, a little beech wood,
but
little beech nut.
Maybe from resting in the coffin, it probably takes some of that flavor, and it protects the stick. To be honest, probably the most well constructed Lancero I've had in a while, and I wonder if because it spent the majority of its time traveling in a coffin, so not going to get damaged.
Yeah.
Perfect construction. I mean, wrapper's beautiful.
Do you ever with these coffins? I feel like every time I don't really want to throw them away.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like one of those things that maybe even when you were a kid you would like keep and I don't know make Ford out of or like
would dice fit in there? Like imagine having like a sweet set of dice in there.
That would be cool. I don't play dice. Like I don't know. But it does. It feels like something you should
mental note. Don't get Eric personalized dice for Christmas. Great.
Or if you could get the
Saka,
really small whiskey rocks or something like that. I don't know.
Make a cool paperweight too, or a pen holder.
Pen holder could be cool. You could put some marijuana joints in there.
If one were to be so inclined.
Right. For international shipping to keep them secure and safe. Don't do that, kids.
It's tasty, and I mean, I do think it. For a Lancero that's supposed to be really super concentrated, it's full but not overpowering or bitter or anything. Really, really kind of starting off. I don't want to say mild, but mediumish, but really, really tasty. Saka puts out. I mean, the dude's a master blender, so I mean, knows what he's doing.
Can be a master or something.
I'm afraid what I'm a master
of. Since I bring nothing to the table today. What did you do today?
So today I had off. It's a Thursday, as we said. We typically like to shoot on Thursdays. It's New Jersey Teacher Convention, which is weird because everything's remote anyway. So kind of lucky to have these days off.
When when I was a kid and we would have off for the teacher convention, were teachers going to an actual convention hall?
Atlantic City.
Really?
It's always in Atlantic. Well, except for I think during
Would you go?
News. I went when I was in another school district. I haven't gone in a while.
Do teachers have to go?
District by district. So if they may say you have to check in and show your badge and show that you've done stuff. Others are like, use it for what you need.
Personal day if you want.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what do they do at teacher conventions?
You go to different seminars. You sign up for different things. They may talk about dealing with students with, very specific disabilities. They could talk about, new changes to codes and laws.
Sounds
So,
riveting.
you know, it is what it is.
So anyway, so you had off today, and they did. So did they just not do a remote convention this year?
I think it was available. I did not partake.
All right.
So
So you don't know the latest this and that's.
um,
So what did you do today?
Today I spent some time cleaning out the garage. I had my kids help rake and pick up the yard, which was really, really helpful. Like first time in forever that all three were actually helping. So like even my 5-year-old, I was like, I need you to pick up these leaves and not this mulch. I couldn't rake it, so he was literally picking up leaves singly. Individually. I told him I was like $5. You know, you're gonna get $5 at the end of the day. So he was excited.
Wait. Yeah.
But I couldn't rake.
Literally like pulling needles out of haystack.
But it gave him something to do.
Yeah.
He wanted to do something. His brother and sisters, could do a little bit more. Gave him something to do. He was occupied. Parents out there, you kind of know what I'm talking about. My wife was working remotely, so I tried to give her the gift of getting the kids out of the house. It was a beautiful day here in southern New Jersey. I wanted to get out and smoke before we came here, and unfortunately, I had to deliver a ladder to I wish a ladder to a friend. We need to start a cow farm. I think it would be great. Gary and Eric's cow farm.
We'll be the first heifers.
Yeah, I would be first on the chopping block. We did yard work, and then I really tackled the garage. We're about to get our Christmas decorations down because everyone knows right after Halloween, you skip over Thanksgiving and you get ready for Christmas. This is what I'm told we should be doing. But more excited, I got my gym space back in the garage. And now that it's getting colder, I kind of have a spot for me and one or two buddies to sit with a heater and smoke inside when it gets too damn cold as Jersey, sneaks up and we get friggin' cold out here.
Nice.
So
yeah, I
tried to make use of the day,
I've started ramping up the so this is the first year of being like heavy duty cigar smokers need a winter cigar hangout kind of place too, and so I've been converting my garage too, as you know. So what I did is
it's absolutely awesome.
I just I wanted to put a TV in here to be able to watch football, but there's no good place to put a TV that it's not like either too far away if I mounted it to a wall, or if I put it kind of on a stand somewhere in the middle of the garage and it's just in the way. If I hang it from the ceiling, then you run into it when you walk. So I found a retractable kind of jobber. So I've got the TV come down.
Space age style.
I've got like a heater going in tomorrow, an exhaust fan going in tomorrow.
It's going to be the place.
So I'll be all set up to be able to do like a Super Bowl party with cigars. The exhaust fan, I got one, like they rate them by cubic feet per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on the actual cubic feet in my garage, the exhaust fan will completely replace the air every about like 4 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow.
So this thing will be the only thing I don't know though is.
But then he'll be taking the hot air out too.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is
can you get one that knows the difference, like remove
right.
smoke but not warm air?
That's honestly, I have no. Like, we're just gonna wing it. I've got a handyman coming over tomorrow, and we're gonna figure it out together.
I'll be like, hey, dude, this is gonna happen. Do you think?
He'll
be like, whatever it is.
He's a handyman.
Whatever it is you do to pay me money.
He's a handyman, not a contractor.
Are you getting any like chocolate notes of sweetness? Any syrupy type notes as we kind of get into the first third?
I got a little too much smoke on the retro-hale.
And that'll burn the nostril hair. Now you don't have to trim your nose hair though.
No.
So it's kind of a bonus. I'm kind of jumping around on flavors between the wood and some of that like semi-sweet dark chocolate. But really, and I get a little bit of mint, like almost a little bit of like I don't want to say like a
junior
toothpaste, almost a junior mint, like a chocolate, like a little bit of tough cocoa and a hint of mint.
Tough cocoa, tough cocoa, honey.
If I ever start a gang, Tough Cocoa is
Tough Cocoa. That'd be your name, your gang name.
Yeah.
Tough Cocoa Gary. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I.
Well, what do you think you're getting? I'll tell you what, the smoke output for a Lancero is like cream. I mean,
I think the wood has subdued, so maybe that I get that as like a semi-sweet kind of chocolate or like a unsweetened chocolate.
No
maybe.
mint though. You don't taste anything like minty. Do I need to check into a hospital?
I don't know. Now I just puffed it. I just puffed it, and I'm like, oh my god, it tastes like Listerine. but it doesn't. Like, obviously. So, I don't know. Let me forget that you said that.
Okay,
And then
we'll revisit.
And then just
You
revisit
know my
it.
fear with Lanceros, and I'm hoping this doesn't come true. You know I'm pretty rough on the caps of my cigars, so I really am trying to not be the like hippo chewing on a stick. You know, I'm trying to be gently with it, so it's kind of changing the way I'm drawing a little bit. I don't know why. I tend to be like John Wayne. Like I chomp down. I could do stuff with my hands.
So it's funny you say that because every time that I'm in the garage on like a nicer day having a cigar, and you know when you look around the yard and then you see something out of place and then you're like, oh, let me go take care of that real quick, and you know maybe you start organizing a little bit and you're still smoking your cigar. I always want to be that guy that has the cigar hanging out, like looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like pretty much about to kill 30 people.
The cool dude. The dude.
About to kill like 30 people in hand-to-hand combat with a cigar hanging out of my mouth and not spilling my beer.
Right.
But but it's actually more like I'm walking around.
Half of it.
Yeah, like the smoke shoots you right in the eye because you're actually
moving.
And you look down. As soon as you look down, the cigar that's going up in your head. The ash falls like. On.
Great point. I envy guys that can like mow the lawn and smoke, or like they call them like, hey, dog walking sticks. I was like, man, I've never like they call like cheapy throwaways like, hey, a lawn stick or a dog walking stick.
Yeah.
I mean, my dog's old now, so we don't get the walks we used to time wise. So I'm like, I would need like a 4-minute cigar. So maybe like the Cohiba shorts or something. But
I can't. I don't like. I wouldn't want to go for a walk and have a cigar anyway. I don't think. Like I don't know.
We walk for different reasons. Like we walk for like physical fitness and enjoyment. I guess if you're going on a leisurely walk.
No, even in general, like even back in the day when I was a cigarette smoker, I didn't like walking and having cigarettes at the same time. I don't know why.
And take another note: no walking stick / cigar holder Christmas present for her.
No dice and walking sticks.
Now I got to go back to the drawing board for Christmas.
Wait, I
party.
forgot to bust out my fact.
You didn't forget. We're gonna wait till the end of the first to do Eric's fact.
Wait, so Carrie, did you know that? I forgot the second half of my fact. I forgot to write it down. All right, but the first half.
It's an important part of the fact process.
All right. All right, I'll come back. I'll have the fact later.
I'm liking this.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
For a Lancero.
I didn't doubt it, though.
I didn't either, but the Lancero always throws me off. I acquired a couple of the Tatuaje monsters that are sometimes only available in the Lancero. And some I liked, some I, indifferent to. But this is a Lancero I'm enjoying. And I think it has, consider that some kind of tooth. So I feel like it's not going to fall out of my hand. It's got some grit to the sandpaper, if you will.
This is a recurring thing, that your fear of cigars falling out of your hand.
Let's go back to episode 1. The cigar fell out of my hand.
It did. But now that's become a criteria for a cigar. You're like, I'm probably not going to drop this, so I like it.
It goes back to the enjoyable overall theme of the cigar. So how about you? So I did some yard cleanup to kind of appease the wife and kept the kids out of her hair a bit. Converted some, cleaned out some of the garage to get my gym back and to start the little inklings. You inspired me to try to get a spot to smoke in the winter. What was your Thursday like, bud?
Pretty well. I got a nice walk in, like a good. I forget how long, about an hour and a half or so. I think I did like 4.5 miles or something like that.
What do you normally like when you say you're going to go out for a walk? What's your typical length? Like for a physical fitness for
like just to get extra, quarantining. I'm not working, so I have to try to walk as most days. And so I basically a minimum day would be. Well, a minimum day might be hungover and not walking at all. But like if I'm actually walking and it's just a minimum day, it'd be a quick hour, like a quick 3.5 miles, something like that. But if I want to get like kind of exercise in, normally I would go for an hour and a half to 2, but I try to hit like 2. And then once a week I try to do 3, like a 3-hour walk.
Yeah,
like 10 miles.
I get those notifications on my watch, and I think you and I both kind of share an affinity for walking and the health, just for the health benefits. Especially me being a bigger guy, 6'5", depending on what 7-Eleven I'm leaving, and range from like 285 to 295. Just the pounding on my joints, like running doesn't I can't do it anymore. My hips, my
never
legs,
liked running.
Maybe 40. Yeah, you didn't like running, and you were a Marine, so that's kind of funny because
No,
that's like
but
all you did for.
no, I know,
months.
and honestly, during that time, I sort of got in worse shape in some ways because I wasn't really lifting, and we were forced to just run, and I kind of like lost muscle and just felt flabby. And the chow hall, they just feed you fast food, so like you're just eating fast food, junk food, and like running, which kind of like modern, like people know now. Just
Yeah.
distance running isn't the best way to lose weight or,
Right.
or whatever. And
It's
so
a great way to improve how far you can run.
you can prove how far you can run. You can fuck your knees up, and
And
I mean, obviously, look, everybody has their own thing. I actually, I don't bash any brand of fitness because if you're moving, you're moving. That's great.
Movement.
And
is
for
good.
me, like and you're the same way that struggles just to get the moving part down sometimes, and has gone stretches of life with not moving very much. So yeah, I don't yuck anybody's yum when it comes to fitness. Like whatever somebody likes, go for it. But for me, yeah, I've been walking. Frankly, I got into it because I have like what's known as exercise ADD, where I can't really do the same thing for more than 4 to 6 weeks, and then I really lose it. So whether it's a powerlifting routine, or if it's yoga, or if it's HIIT routines, or CrossFit, or strongman training, I just get bored of it because I don't have aspirations to compete in any of those domains. So I'm not trying to become the best.
And it's such a hard thing because that's why a lot of people say, well, I did sign up for a Tough Mudder, or I did sign up for a bodybuilding
Gives you a goal.
It gives you a deadline,
which is awesome. And we've done that. We've done a couple Tough Mudders together. And that got us in the running. Like we had a running club.
Yeah,
we started a running club. You're tall, I'm short, but we're both wide, and
we are
shaped like bowling balls for most of our lives.
Yeah.
And we started a running club because we were signing up for Tough Mudders to give us something to do and try to be less fat. I don't think we got less fat, but it helped us not get more fat for a few months.
It did that, and it helped me do weird things, obstacles that I never would have thought of.
Absolutely. Like their confidence. Like in the Marine Corps in boot camp, you actually do a course. It's called a confidence course.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much a Tough Mudder. Like you're just doing things like, and I did, one where it's in a lot of like the commercials or people see it. Like there's this really tall tower and like a little wire that goes down to the ground. And on the wire, you have to crawl down the wire.
Wow.
And so like it's just a half-inch round cable, and the way you kind of
shimmy.
Yeah, the way you drape your body, you're laying on top of that thin wire.
That's
but you basically have to drape your body parts on each side in a way that you're cradling around the wire, and you're balanced on either side, and then you have to go down. I fell, and there's water under you, I fell and wound up in the water, but.
It's funny hearing that story.
But that's a confidence course.
That's awesome. And I mean, I remember us training for the Tough Mudder, and the running is like the physical stuff you would think is going to be the hard stuff. And to me, that's not what was difficult. It was when you're going to run through these wires and you're going to get electrically shocked. You're going to crawl into this barbed wire and you're going to get, cut up. You're going to jump over this fire. And the thing that got me that I didn't realize was when we had to jump off like the 15 or 20 foot ledge into the water. I wanted to go 3 times. I was like, ready, go. My body would not let me jump.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff.
I had to consciously.
We had to do that in boot camp too.
Right. And as a non, I respect so much the military people in the military. I respect you personally for that. But it was so amazing to test my body in a way that I think very few people get to do unless you're in an armed forces type of a scenario.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Like, and it's
like going for a run or a marathon is one thing, but dude, running
and
where
I
you're
think
like,
that's why they started. Like, if you remember the beginning of Full Metal Jacket, there's some obstacle course stuff in it. Mm-hmm. There's one. What do they call it? Like a. I want to say they call it like something ladder, some stairway, something. Maybe something. Yeah, the big thing where all you're doing is climbing it straight up. And then just going over it, but it's that swinging your leg over it, and that's the scene in the movie, right?
Kyle can't do it.
Yeah, and I remember, man, like getting to boot camp and like getting to that obstacle, and it's Paris Island. Like, fuck, it's probably the same. I'm sure they replaced the wood in between.
Our grandfathers were probably going the same fucking obstacle.
Yeah, hopefully they replaced the wood planks, but like but crazy story though, boot camp story.
Yeah,
so. When I was there, you learn the story about this time on Paris Island where like it's all swamps and stuff around there, and you learn this story about this time that a drill instructor was trying to haze some recruits, took them out on a hump, like which is a hike, like in the middle of the night, out in the swamps, and then I forget the exact story, but I want to say like tide came in or this or that, and they died.
Wow.
And you hear about that
What
story.
What year would you figure?
Well, the funny thing is, I found out later my grandfather had been on Paris Island at that time, was training to be a drill instructor, hit somebody, was getting in trouble when that went down, and they were locking the base down, and they just gave him orders and sent him out. And like my grandpa got out, didn't get in trouble the way he was supposed to, and because of that incident that I had learned about in boot camp.
That's crazy.
Super wild. Because back then things were just rogue, right? Like sweeping things under the rug was like commonplace. And my grandfather, dude, he would tell me about times that when he was in combat, and he would be like a sergeant, and then do something like to get in a lot of trouble, and like go down to like a private, and then do something really good and get a field commission to lieutenant, and then like
skipping ranks in
literally, yeah, like go and like get a field commission, and then like doing something like really fucked up and like to the enemy or whatever, because like it's combat, and then like getting caught and getting in trouble and going down. And
that's awesome.
Different time. But he also enlisted when he was like 16, and the fact checking was like, yeah, I'm 18, I swear,
Right.
or 17 or whatever.
I think my grandfather might have lied too. I think most of the generation, but how different of a generation lying to go into combat. I think this generation is lying to get out of work and doing things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, but my grandfather, it's funny you bring up Full Metal Jacket, because my first viewing of that movie on VHS was on vacation with my grandfather. I think we found it at the Walmart bin, and he was like, "Oh, that's a good movie." It's which I was surprised. Like my 75-year-old grandfather was like, "No, that's like quality
Kubrick's finest."
And I watched it. Obviously, the first half of the movie is just dealing with boot camp. Literally,
it was always my favorite
12,
part.
13, jaw drops. I think we stopped watching it after the boot camp part, and he literally turned to me, and his only words, and then he got up and walked away. He was like, "That is the most realistic depiction of what my Marine boot camp was like."
Yeah.
And then literally he just got up and went away. And like we talked about it down the road a little bit, but he said, they got into altercations. One guy wasn't running the way he was supposed to, so everyone was getting punished. He said we brought him down to the river behind the barracks and beat him with our Marine buckles to put him in the infirmary to get him out of our unit.
It's crazy. Like that didn't happen, but like some fucked up stuff did happen.
I think how many years in between, like our grandfather generation.
One thing that did happen while I was at boot camp was, so I think a lot of people know this concept of like getting smoked or getting hazed. Like they call it getting smoked when you're in boot camp. And I just heard that some of that like can't even happen anymore, which is insane. But there's these sand pits all over Paris Island. And basically, it's just a place to get hazed, so that if you think, being told to kind of drop and give me 20 or whatever, but like drop and do push-ups, and they don't say drop and give me 20. They say drop and do push-ups till I get tired. That's what they say. Drop and do push-ups till I get fucking tired, or do mountain climbers or this or that. It's way worse if you have to do it in a sand pit. So there's just these sand pits everywhere.
No resistance.
So they took this kid out one time, and back in like up until I think like the 80s or maybe even in the 90s, the recruits would have to do their own laundry outside of the barracks. And so they had all these wash basins. They were literally made out of concrete. They were concrete sinks and clotheslines made out of like metal wire. But we at this point didn't have to do our own laundry. They were doing it. And but when they took the kid out to haze him, they were making him run from sandpit to sandpit. He got clotheslined on one of those clotheslines that was low. This was like the first week or second week of boot camp. Boot camp is 13 weeks long. When we were leaving, he was still in the hospital, and they said he was going to be like a vegetable for the rest of his life. And the drill instructor was joking about it. Like the drill instructor that ran him into the wire, not on purpose, but
I guess how else can you deal with it? Like thinking that you're never going to do it, I mean, I think it takes a very special breed of a human being, not only to be a Marine, but then to be a drill instructor on top of it.
Yeah.
Because, you're a former Marine, you're a Marine. I don't see you having that, like...
Oh, no. But, dude, like, the drill instructors, so then...
Like, you're a tough dude, but you're not, like...
September 11th happened 1 week in the boot camp. I was 1 week in the boot camp when September 11th happened. So, like, I went through my time with, like, the class of, like, 9/11 Marines, which was the Marines that essentially lost somebody there and then went and joined. Like, I mean, I'm talking, like, Brown, like, Ivy League graduates that were... traders making 800 grand a year, and then went and enlisted, not like became officers. They could have became officers, but like enlisted. Like that kind of generation. But and so after drill instructors, it's like doing a tour, being a drill instructor, and then you go back into the fleet, they call it, and you just do your job. And I was talking to a guy who was a drill instructor during 9/11, and he had gotten somebody that had lost somebody in 9/11.
Sure.
And like while they're fucking with them, because they're just trying to get in your head, the drill instructors are trying to get in your head. And I forget the relation, whether it was like uncle or this or that. But the drill instructor, this drill instructor's telling this to me.
The same drill
instructor's telling this to me about what he said to the kid, which was, if I was him, I would have jumped out too, being your like whatever relative or whatever. Like they fuck with you.
But like they have, I mean, like
it sounds
shtick, sick,
thing,
but you have to break someone down to mold them into what they need to be what that. Like I said, that's one of the reasons I love that they have things for civilians like a Tough Mudder or something like that, because the camaraderie you get to have with it. I don't know that you could put a gun in my hand and tell me to go hurt someone that hasn't done anything and done me any harm personally. You know what I mean? So I give anyone who enlists or anyone who served, a whole lot of credit. What are you feeling about we're kind of getting midway through.
Dude, we're midway through. We always compare. Dude, I'm like a half inch ahead.
Did you get any, like, as I was hitting this midway point, again, sweetness, honey, graham cracker, like good retro-hale flavors?
So, Saka was involved with the Liga line, when he was at Drew Estate. And I'm getting a little bit of remnants of
I could see that.
The wrapper, which is great for me because that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
And it's just like remnants of it. Like I'm certainly not calling it a copycat.
No, did we get everything's no information about the wrapper, binder, or filler, right? I'm just curious to see if this is, because I know we both tend to go Oscuro, Maduro. Like if we had a choice between sticks, I think, 7 to 8 times out of 10 we would go, Oscuro or Maduro.
What I'm trying to find though, there's a lighter shade of wrapper, and I think you're starting to find it too. But I can't pinpoint it. But it's like the Lucille from Ezra Zion was one.
It's got that reddish hue to it.
Like even lighter, and it tastes like horchata, like a Mexican cinnamon milk, like creamy. I just said cinnamon butter to you the other day with a stick I was having. I forget what stick it was. I would have to look back at our text messages. But there's that one lighter shade. There's some wrapper, something in there that I like, and I'm really trying to pinpoint. That's one of the kind of joys with cigars, right? Because of everything's this matrix of different blends. And so when you find stuff that you like, I try to write stuff down and try to find the common themes, but it's really difficult to do.
And that's why it's good as you're getting into cigars to try some different things. And then, like I said, you have cell phones right there. Take a picture of a few of the labels you like. Because when you do go into a brick and mortar, you can say like, these are the 2 or 3 sticks that I've had out of 10 and I really enjoyed.
It's tough.
Maybe I don't know why I enjoyed it.
It's tough though, because you and I were talking before, right? When people ask for recommendations, and it's this massively large matrix of cigar, and it becomes difficult. And so, like even with the bands, look, but I've been trying to go a layer deeper, where if I really like a stick, I'll try to kind of note what I like about it. Then I'll go find a review, like probably on Half Wheel or something like that, because I get pretty detailed with like the wrapper, binder, and filler, and where they're from. So then I'll try to write down like, okay, I think from what they're saying, what I like about this stick is the Connecticut Maduro wrapper, or what I like about this stick is this, and then I try to note that down so that I can really try to pull out the common threads from sticks. I'm getting nowhere fast, but I'm trying.
I was just telling you before we hit record, I've really started to up my retro-hale game, and I think I'm getting to a point where I'm doing it a lot more naturally. I was just listening to a few reviews on YouTube where people are like still afraid or don't retrohale, and you're not getting all of those complex flavors. So, what I would say to a newer cigar smoker is kind of practice it. And the internet is just a wealth of knowledge, some good, some bad, about you'll have 100 people tell you the proper way to cut a cigar or light a cigar or whatever it is. Obviously, do what you're comfortable with, but the information's out there. How to retrohale properly, that kind of stuff. Beautiful construction halfway through. Like I'm I'm kind of chewy on that cap, and
You are.
it's holding up beautifully. I love the way when I chew on a V cut, it kind of opens up like that. Something very
There's something,
beautiful about that.
There's something very beautiful about that.
But the flavor profile is just as you retrohale, because there's an enjoyment in the mouth and the smoke and the feel. But on that retrohale is where I get that, where those flavors kind of pop.
Let's go. I'm going to go grab another drink. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back for the final third.
Sounds good.
All right. Got my glass poured. Got myself some more Rabbit Hole Derringer. I don't know. We'll put the link in the thing again. Like we
I
did
wish
last
that's
time.
what it was called, like how you just pronounce it. It's just weird letters and symbols and a
It doesn't make any
bolt.
sense. Like, what word is that? Derringer. Rabbit Hole. Cool logo. Love it. Derringer.
That's probably his name,
I don't know.
Derringer.
I don't know. The Rabbit's got a shitty last name, but the whiskey's decent. It was pretty expensive. It was like $70 for the bottle.
You seem to. First one went down smooth. I had a little taste. It was good. You get a little bit of that sherry cask on the finish.
Sherry cask.
So I'm
That'd be
trying
a
to
good
play
stripper
catch
name.
up. That would be a good stripper name.
Sherry cask.
But she'd probably be like third string, old.
I don't know.
sad.
You think so? I think Sherry cask would be.
I'm only telling you my experience with strippers.
I think Sherry cask would be a headliner, man. I think she'd be a man eater, like red hair with high boots. I don't know what the fuck
You
we're
put
talking
some
about right now.
thought into
Yeah, I don't know
that,
what the
bud.
fuck.
That was great.
It'd be like, I think. Well, and this is Rabbit Hole whiskey, so I think Sherry cask would be Jessica Rabbit turned bad.
I was just thinking about Jessica Rabbit when you
Were
said
you-
that.
I was.
So
I was
your
just-
stripper's Sherry Cask, mine's Rabbit Hole.
I was just.
And she's just like cut bunny ears, but she's old and sad.
Rabbit Hole would definitely be the old
B level, like Sunday morning.
She's
brunch.
the one, like when I was stationed in Guam, where like if you're at the strip club and this old lady comes up to you and asks you if you want to buy a glass of orange juice or a shot of orange juice for $20, what she's really asking you is if you want to buy a hand job under the table for $20. And what's happening is Rabbit Hole is coming up and asking you that, but then what's Scarlet Cask or Sherry Cask, but that will come by later and do it. I never partook.
Good for you.
I didn't.
Just say no, bud.
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't. You know why? Because I was single at the time. Only married guys took advantage of it. Yeah.
If you're putting me on the spot, no way.
No, we weren't stationed in Guam together, so we're good.
That's right, we weren't. Document that.
But it is true, and it is funny. Like on those kind of things, a lot of times
It's true.
the married guys are taking advantage of it. It's just, hey, look, it's just an observation. I'm not saying it's a fact. It's just an observation.
Yeah, we were just saying off camera, like for a Lancero, after that pull, man, creamy smoke just pouring off.
Well,
Like
and this one for me has gotten, it's just like when we had the archetype, the Sage Advice. This one for me is getting better and better as it goes.
Better. I think it hit the
Um,
sweet spot second, third. It was hitting that sweet
Second,
spot.
third, second half.
Raisin, caramely. I'm getting some
I'm definitely
graham
getting
cracker,
the
marshmallow.
burnt sugar,
Right?
like that's right in that marshmallow
Tasty.
burnt. Yeah.
Tasty, really tasty. And I have to give it up to Steve Saka. I mean, perfect construction,
You would
perfect
love
burn.
to give it up to Steve Saka, wouldn't you?
If he,
That
shows
would
me
be
a thing or
some
two about
bear on
cigars.
bear action. That would be fucking. I'm just saying it would have to be at least a king size bed with probably some additional supports.
Court jester
I'm
size,
just
but
saying. Is that a thing?
No,
Uh,
just something stupid I said. But razor sharp burn, caps in perfect shape. Haven't dropped it once. Is a criteria for me. But no, really tasty as we get into the final third here. And I kind of jokingly said I think it's going to be a quick smoke at the beginning, but we're like 45 minutes in. Like this is
yeah.
So
Wound up being.
I'm very impressed with
decent
the burn
smoke.
time. I was really thinking. Remember, I said to you, I'm like,
You
"This
were
is
worried it was going to be
half-hour
too
smoke,"
quick.
or-
Yeah, because we tend to smoke fast. But I don't know. I think during our episodes, I think we smoke slower because we're spitting nonsense.
Really, really tasty. So if you can get your hand on a hashtag
Namilfa.
NLMTHA, oh, maybe it's related to the whiskey.
The
They
whiskey,
both have names you can't say.
No, it's funny. Before we did the research, and we've both had these. We won these together.
Mhm.
We won 4 of them, so we each took 2 of them. And while they were sitting in my humidor for how long? It's been like 6 weeks. It's been
over a
been
month,
minute,
definitely.
yeah. And I never even bothered to look it up. Like sometimes we just bid on stuff, and I was just in the back of my humidor in my head was just the hashtag no
Yeah. I just
whatever it is.
I said pound sign because I didn't even look at the back, so like I only saw the cover the way I had them stored.
The hashtag. Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know.
My son actually asked why there were hashtags on phones that were not smartphones.
That's
like
crazy. You told me that before.
Not realizing that
You told me that before. That's crazy.
What else did I say today? Oh, that like we were saying off camera about like my son doesn't realize there used to be like a deli and then a separate store that was a sporting goods store. Like now we go into Walmart and get our meat, our cheese, our like
so
clothes.
Wild. Like we are.
So
what movie was this in? Was this in a movie? Was it like the concept of like a ready-made world? Was that like in a Kevin Smith movie?
Not like Idiocracy or anything like that.
No, or was it Fight Club or something about the concept? Like, yeah, like just.
Oh yeah. Well, because the guy in Fight Club is ordering a catalog and like the consumer world.
Yeah, maybe that's what's in my head. But yeah, like this world where like even Wawa by us, the convenience store, like that used to be a deli too, and then. It's like, we'll cut out the middleman. Like, we'll just charge you 3 times the price and give you the sandwich instead. And then us as humans, like Americans, or I don't know, probably everybody around the world, we're just like, oh, fuck, this is easier. Like, I'm not going to buy this and then go make a sandwich. I'm just going to,
We got to there because I was telling you my wife got some chocolate for Halloween at a local, like, chocolate, like a small mom and pop chocolate shop in our town. And I was like, how funny is that? But I can go to Home Depot and get lumber and hand warmers and stuff for my car and get my son a Hershey bar on the checkout.
I know, and it's sad.
It's taken, like, we were talking about the main street in my town and, like, the hardware shop went out of business, the sporting goods store. And, I'm only there for 14
But then
years.
in other areas, it's funny because in other areas, there's definitely like a return to boutique, in cigars, whiskeys,
small batch
beers.
So I think our generation's hopefully going to be the savior of smaller companies. Maybe
I don't know.
But if we're not, we're screwed because my son's generation's not going to even know they existed.
No, your son's generation will actually be getting like the Amazon drones delivering everything, and then this goes back into what we've talked about in the past with COVID, like speeding up things. So like now with people buying cars online.
Yeah, what's
like,
that
think about
Carvana that'll like deliver it? Like you just have a car?
Think about, and then you get to drive it for a week, and if you don't like it, they take it back. Like, or there's one I keep hearing on the radio. It's not Carvana.
What a pain in the ass is buying a car.
Dude, well that and buying a house are two things that are like, that's going to be revolutionized in my mind in the next decade.
Houses were the same way?
No, it's starting. So like, not the whole
move
in for a month or not move in for a week, but like the idea of cutting out realtors, there's apps starting to do that already. Because like even, I think I said this before, like when I bought my house, that I find the house online, I tell my realtor, her entire job was to meet us at the house so she could get into that little box and get the key to get us in. We loved it. We bought it. The realtor shows up at closing, and she winds up with 3% as the buyer's agent with half the 6% commission.
And if they're both,
and they're both to get the whole 6%, and so that's all going to get aged out.
We'll all be all of our jobs will be done robotics. Like 20 years where there will be.
Well, hopefully not rolling cigars.
I hope not.
That would be.
Well, machine cigars are out, and I've had them. They have their place, But even like, I was just kind of getting into golf with my brother-in-laws, my father-in-law, and even my dad. And like, everyone wants a cheapy stick, but he'll go and get cheap hand-rolled sticks locally. Like, I'd rather support that than get like, machine-made. And then if you drop it or you forget it, it was still only $2 or $3.
Yeah.
You gave someone a job, like, I don't know, taking away a lot of hands that touch a hand-rolled cigar,
Yeah, I read online. So this is another little fun fact, but it's unverified. I tried verifying it, and so
the 400 or 500 like hands.
200 hands.
Is that the average?
I don't know. I read it, but I can't verify it anywhere, so I'm not going to give it as a real fact.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a real fact, but it makes sense
cut.
from seed to smoke.
From seed to smoke.
You know, that's a lot of hands
but
involved.
what I'm saying is that it didn't make the cut for my official fact of an episode
Okay.
because I can't verify it.
I appreciate that. If you're nothing, you're not thorough and honest.
Exactly. I couldn't verify it, but they say 200 hands touch it, from. I was actually talking to my buddy
Which
last
is
night.
way less hands that touch you.
So this is funny, and he's gonna watch this episode too because he's awesome and he watches every episode. But
Thank you for watching.
Jay,
Thanks,
and so I was FaceTiming with him last night.
Oh,
You dropped the fucking
okay.
cigar.
But here's what's good.
You dropped the fucking cigar.
It's only been 2 episodes that I dropped a cigar.
Dude,
It's
it's
a
like our
third.
7th
It's
episode.
a third.
Yeah.
But you were the one that was like, well, why would you worry? Because I have big fat hands and delicate little Lanceros don't fit in them. But Steve Saka, I will proudly smoke this because really, really tasty.
But I was saying to my friend last night, I was like, man, 200 pairs of hands touching the cigar from seed to your mouth. That's a lot of people to not wash their hands before you smoke your cigar.
But
Like-
no, it's all on fire, so it's
Yeah,
completely
no,
sanitary.
it's just funny. I mean, if you could actually imagine 200 pairs of hands touching something that goes in your mouth.
Or if it's one person with 200.
That's why I wash all my cigars with
Smart.
hand soap and water
Smart,
before I
very
smoke them.
That's why you never tasted leather, right?
Yeah. This one tastes
And
like
you're like, why did
lavender
mine
fields.
crack? Why did the
Why- I don't
humidity's
understand.
all goofed up? That's why you get into
The
verbal
douche on
altercations on Facebook. Yeah, as I said, yard sale on Facebook threads. I got to go on and like support my buddy. Like, yeah, don't say nasty things. You're nasty too. But I will say,
No, that was
Eric
beautiful though.
Eric
That
took
was
the high
beautiful
road.
the
Eric
way it went down. The
is
way
a high road guy.
so I posted a comment or somebody posts a stick that is busted, and of course everybody starts getting on them.
And what's the background? I sent you that photo.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. You send me the photo saying, "Ha, this stick, a particular stick that we've also had issues with in the past."
that we love.
So, somebody posts in a group that they're smoking the same stick, they're having issues, and everybody starts getting on him about how he's wrong, his humidor sucks, and whatever.
Right.
And so
It's a you problem.
All I did was get on there. I just said like, "Oh, that's interesting. I've experienced the same, but from my experience in person, when I talk to people at shops, they have the same issue. But online communities, people don't have the same issue. That's weird. I don't know where the discrepancy comes from." That's all I said. And somebody comes on and just says, they just say I'm a liar, that I don't experience that in real life. So, but it was funny. So I just said like, oh, like that's interesting. I'm not gonna refute what you're saying at all. I'm just gonna let people read these comments and see that you're just somebody who likes to troll people. So have a nice day.
And literally, I just went on. I was like, "Well, it's really unfair to call someone's personal experience a lie." Like, you know,
Especially since you were like involved in the backstory.
doesn't make any sense. So great. I'm kind of the one who
The same
started it because I
issue.
was like, "Look, bud." But it makes me feel good that my humidity's not off. Like, really, when I do that, it's almost validation for me that I'm storing.
You see all
myself
these other
correctly.
people having the same issue. I know.
And fun fact: all my sticks are stored together 95% of the time. This has 0 construction issues.
Yeah.
So when I see one that does, it's interesting because I'm only finding it in a few lines. But not this one. I could say wholeheartedly, fantastic construction, great stick.
All right. Well, mine's done. You're the slow one today. So
No, it's funny. I feel like you did some talking and I did some commenting, but man, I should have beat you. I don't know why I didn't.
I'm a hell of a sucker today.
You are, but I'm going to tell you, I'm glad we did this together. This was both of our first.
First Mochide Saka. We actually, it's interesting. We had our first. Well, we both had the Miyakirda from the same batch. I think that was my first Saka.
Did you, yes, and then I had the Sober Mesa.
You had that. I haven't had that yet.
Brulee.
You've got the brulee. I have a non-brulee in my humidor.
Which was a really
And
good
we had these. So we tend to have the same runs together because we like split packs all the time. But we've definitely been on a Saka kick and it's been great. And then that was the blue Miyakirdas. We both just picked up some red Miyakirdas. So we're all in.
Eric
on
says
Dunbarton.
they're red. I'm colorblind.
He's colorblind.
In the dark, it's very difficult for me
It's
to see
incredibly
the difference.
frustrating.
Like, this is
So
my
yeah,
blue lighter right now.
we've been on a Saka kick and it's been great. Experiencing it together, kind of like learning it. Dunbarton Tobacco Trust is his company.
And I love the name. I just think it's a
I
cool,
love it. I
cool
don't know
name.
why. I like the N Trust. It's just to sound like a bank, I guess. I don't know.
And I wonder where the Dunbarton comes. I'd love to do a little more research
more
and see
research
where
and
that
find
comes
that out
from in
too.
his life and repertoire. But very impressed. I am not a Lancero guy. If you can find it, if you can find the hashtag NLMTHA, I would recommend giving it a try. Getting a lot of, I think it really found its groove in the second and third, final third. I have one more, and I'm excited to smoke that at some point too.
So do I. And as always, long ashes.
And stay smoky, friends.
Thanks for checking out the Cedar Culture Podcast. If you'd like that episode, go ahead, tap, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on your platform of choice. And if you are on YouTube, hit that bell as well to be notified of new episodes. It really helps us out. We appreciate it.
And then don't forget to head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow us as well.
Do it.
Do it. I am in charge of the clap. That is my role. Clapper. I want it on my business card.